When I'm in a car, I like to be in the driver's seat because in that position, I'm in control of what happens. I can see in front of me, to the side, I can look back, I can look in my rear view mirror. But when I'm in the passenger seat, I don't know what that driver sees. Are you the type of person that would rather drive or be driven? Let's talk about it in your morning cup of inspiration. The real question is, what drives you? Are you driven by a memory from the past, maybe a painful memory, maybe a mistake that you made along the way and it haunts you and you can't seem to shake that off? It's still kind of controlling you. They say that we're a product of our past. And I know that means our upbringing and where we were raised and how we were raised, but we don't have to be a prisoner to our past. You for sure do not have to be in that position. You know, there are examples of this in the Bible. God took Moses, who actually was a murderer. He killed an Egyptian when he was defending a Hebrew, and people saw it, and that haunted him. But God took a murderer and turned him into a great leader of the Jewish nation. I think of Gideon. He was a coward, and yet God turned him into a courageous hero. And then there's David, who committed adultery with Bathsheba, and yet later on in his life, God said that David was a man after his own heart. So don't let the mistakes of the past drive you. Paul was able to shake off his past because Paul was once Saul and he did terrible things to Christians. But then when God got a hold of him, his life was changed and his whole focus changed. And here's what drove Paul. In Philippians 3:13 and 14, we read, "But one thing I do," you see the focus, one thing, "forgetting what is behind and straining forward toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." Is that what you're living for? To one day hear God say, "Well done, thou good and faithful servant." We need that focus. And Isaiah 26:3 says, "You will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is steadfast because he trusts in you." Steadfast means unshaken, unmovable. And when you have your mind focused on God, peace will dominate your life. Peace and forgetting the past. Don't be a prisoner of your past, but drive on, press on toward the prize for the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. I hope that encourages you today, and I'll talk to you soon for another morning cup of inspiration.